Hello, Hashgraph community. Welcome back to Hashout. My name is Jim Gao. Today is September 26th, 2019. And a disclaimer, I'm not a Hedera employee. Everything expressed here is strictly my personal opinion. And I want to clarify something of the messages in the previous few videos that I made. Because earlier today I was chatting with a community member and he told me there might be some kind of misunderstanding, miscommunication, or misinterpretation of my messages. So I want to clarify here. First of all, I did not advocate for a bailout from Hedera of any kind. That is not what I was talking about in my previous two videos. I don't know how people could get the interpretation that I was advocating for a bailout from Hedera. Maybe it's because my speech impediment, the way I communicated, was not clear enough. But there was no word, no expression that I used that remotely can be interpreted that I wanted bailout from Hedera. No, I mean, we're all adults here. We know what risks that we take when we buy in to any kind of investment. So if the price didn't turn out to be what we expected, we suck it up. We don't ask for bailouts. That's not what I was talking about at all. I don't know why anyone would interpret that way. No, my message was really, to encourage some of the community members who might be deeper in it than I am, And second of all, I was hoping that maybe provide some personal observation or personal suggestion to the team that might help them to deal with crisis in the future. I was not advocating for a bailout at all. I know this message, this video might not be popular to SAFT3 investors. They might say that, it's easy for me to say that because I never invested in SAFT3 at 12 cents per H bar. No, I didn't, but not because I didn't want to invest in SAFT3. I couldn't. I heard about SAFT3 when it was first announced last summer, but then I checked, they required the investors to be accredited investors. And, you have to have at least $1 million, I'm just recalling from my memory, I think you have to have at least $1 million under your management to be qualified as an investor into SAFT3. And I knew I didn't qualify, so I didn't even try. And I was feeling pretty disappointed throughout last year because of that. Of course, that later turned out to be a blessing in disguise. But I think a bailout is like one of the worst options, whether a government or a corporation can take, for the investors. I remember in 2008, 2009 financial crisis, when Dow was crashing 60%, and when Bush was coming out, on TV, trying to calm everyone's nerves. And then Congress came out with this TARP, this bailout to the big corporations, the banks, the hedge funds that for the previous 5 years, used taxpayers' money to gamble on the housing market. And I think that bailout was one of the worst decisions, of the financial crisis. And it's not fair. Inherently, it's not fair. It's like, what Jim Rogers said. It's taking the funds from the competent, the responsible people, and give it to the irresponsible, the incompetent people who has lost their shirt, in this housing bubble, and that was just immoral. It was just not fair, and I think that's why I don't believe in TARP. It's I don't believe in bailouts. I think it's destroys the credibility, of whether it's U.S. government, the Treasury, the Fed, or any other entity who tries to do that. No, I mean, the SAFT3 investors, they're accredited. Last year, when I tried to invest in it, I was I consider myself a somewhat savvy investor. I've been buying stocks since I was 18 years old. I invested, over the years into commodities, futures, options, cryptocurrencies. So I'm pretty experienced, but I couldn't qualify as accredited. So accredited investor is someone not only has a lot of assets, but he's very financially sophisticated, more sophisticated than me. They're the the big boys and the big girls. They're the heavyweights. Quoting the president. I mean, they know what they're doing. They know what they're getting into when they make the investment. There shouldn't be any bailout to those people. I mean, they're pros, for crying out loud. So that's not what I was advocating at all. I wasn't advocating for bailouts. Of course, right now I'm sure the team is working hard in the background, to come up with a solution. But I'm not worried that the team is going to bail out the anyone. Just like me, I didn't invest in SAFT 3 at 12 cents, but pre-OA, I invested, I bought some H bars at 18 cents. And, I'm still buying now. And, the price could crash down to below a penny. If that happens, I'm not going to say, anyone's going to come out and rescue me and bail me out. No, I mean, I'm an adult. I know what kind of risk I'm taking when jumping into this. And I think if you bail out someone, that's the irresponsible thing to do. That's the unfair thing to do. And for Hedera, who has fairness as its one of its tenets, one of its pillars of ideology, I don't think that's what I think. The team definitely would not be thinking that. That's really the irresponsible thing to do. But I'm sure with the they're working hard in the background, to come up with a solution. I don't know what that is. Like for me, I'm thinking that maybe that if the team sets some kind of like a resistant line, maybe at 1 penny, for the H bar price, where that they're going to defend. At 1 penny, you can buy up to a billion H bars for $10 million. That's or maybe half a penny. Set that line, you defend it, and I think that's a much more fairer approach than baiting out anyone who invested in H bars. Of course, this is not a suggestion from me. I'm sure there are a lot of people on the team much smarter than I am. They're going to come up with really good solution to everyone that's going to be fair, to everyone. And I have no doubt in that regard. So I just want to make this video to clarify things. I was never advocating a bailout. My message to the team was, even though I mentioned the price about H bars, my main point was to illustrate, to convey to the team that the price itself reflects the underlying sentiments from the community. And the price revealed a fundamental flaw in the team, in the team's strategy, which was put too much focus on the enterprise side, but not enough focus or attention on the community side. And I still firmly believe that community is the backbone of a decentralized project, like Hashgraph, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum. It's not the IBMs, it's not the Boeings, because those corporations, they're not alive. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about IBM, who is IBM? It's a corporation, it's a veil, right? It's like, who represents IBM? Even like the CEO doesn't really represent IBM. It's just a big machine that has thousands of people working for it, like gears, different parts working for this machine. But there's no single entity, single person that truly represent the corporation. And I think that's the, that's why I believe the trend in the future is decentralization, is to decentralize a corporation, like a multinational conglomerate, into smaller pieces, into individuals, really, like you and I, who can wield almost as much power as those multinationals. We can create a world of our own and build our own world, on this Hashgraph platform. And I think maybe the team before, they thought that as long as we had the IBMs, the Boeings, it's going to be smooth sailing. But since '08, I think the price level had reflected it's not the case. You need the community, you need the small people, the individuals, to support you. At a time like this, at a time like this, the IBMs is not going to come to your rescue, because even if IBM, some people in the IBM, they believe in Hashgraph, just to invest in it, you have to jump through so many hoops, go through so many red tapes. Even the CEO wants to invest in Hashgraph. He can't just do it automatically. He has to get so much approval from everywhere, within the company to do that. So it's not the corporations that's going to truly support a decentralized endeavor like Hashgraph, but individuals, the nobodies of the world. They are the true advocates for Hedera, I believe. And I think, with so many conscientious people on the team, they know this by now. They could see that they probably need to make some adjustment in their strategy and probably put more focus and attention on developing, supporting a vibrant community, grow the community. So I have no doubt that, that they're going to make the necessary adjustment to make the project successful in the future. And I still, totally believe the project, and that's why I'm still buying at this price level. Some people might say, why are you buying now? How do you know if the price won't crash down to a penny, or even lower? And my answer is I don't know whether the price is going to crash down that low or not. All I know is that 2 weeks ago, before OA, if someone was willing to sell H-bars to me at 6 cents, I would jump onto that opportunity like there's no tomorrow, So right now, the price is half as that, right? And what has changed fundamentally? Besides the price, right? Nothing really changed fundamentally except the price. And the price, like I said, is only reveals a fundamental flaw, potential flaw within the strategy. And I think with so many conscientious people on the team, they will make the necessary adjustments in the future. So that's what I try to clarify in this video. I'm not advocating for a bailout in any sort, from Hedera or from anyone at all. I think we're all big boys and big girls. We're adults. We know what we're doing, and we are very well aware of the risk we take when we make any kind of investment, whether it's in stocks or cryptocurrencies, or even like getting to know someone, establish a friendship. If you get hurt by someone in a relationship, you learn the lesson and you move on. You don't expect some kind of rescue, from the government or from anyone. So that's basically what I have today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video.